The tale of the tape between these two is 50-50 against each other. And they've played each other a number of times in their history, in their career. Lin pretty good against Undead here with 69%. 1-0 against Orc, also pretty good, 65. But that is not his strongest matchup. In the past, it always used to be against Night Elf. Nowadays, he considers his human matchup the best. And... Are you serious? Is this again not working? Okay, guys, give me a second, please. Come on.
A player's forces are under attack.
Oh, there we go. Okay. No, wait, there we don't go. What the hell? Sorry about this, guys. One moment, please. Okay, this should be working now. Whew! Thank you. Okay, I was a little worried there. Alright. Apologies for that slight hiccup here at the beginning. But we didn't miss much. It's a Farseer first against the DK. Farseer Tier 2 expansion has been a strategy that Lin was playing against Undead for quite a while with the TC second. Ooh, almost finding the surround there against the trees. With the TC second, and then staying Tier 2, massing up, and leveraging the economy advantage with that expansion to overpower with mass versus class, basically, as the Undead will go Tier 3, as Undead always does. Fun little side note, by the way, I used to play Tier 2 Batchiolin against Orc, and that worked a lot. So I'm surprised we never ever see it. I feel like there is an opening there for that. I was convinced that that strat was super strong for a long time. I was going back and forth with Chechi sometimes with that. And Chechi was trying to be polite, being like, it's an okay strat, but yeah, it definitely has counterplay. But anyways, my escapades in Warcraft 3 don't matter too much here. 1-0 and Lin, they are both masters of their craft. This is already a much more aggressive early game than we're used to seeing in this matchup. Usually it's very slow paced. And the two players leaving each other alone, basically. But here we see fighting for last hits. Every bit of experience matters. The jump from level 1 to level 2 is a tremendous one. Especially for the DK. For the Farseer, Chain Lightning and a few more stats are also nice. But unless you can really find a killer with the Chain Lightning, it's not too impactful. But the aura for the DK is absolutely a must-have. Without the aura, Undead doesn't feel like Undead. And now he's there, has the level 2. Let's compare the tech speeds. Holy moly, that was a fast tech. TC second, Bestiary. And I'm certainly expecting the expansion to come up. As I said, this is the style that Lin has been playing for quite a while. And shouldn't come as too big of a surprise. Lin now taking the Ogre camp in the middle, the marketplace. It's gonna take a little while though, with only 3 grunts. With the Wolves and the Farseer, I guess it's okay. Tier 2 finished here as well. Lich is coming out a little behind the TC. 2 Fiend tech to Tier 3 is what we see a lot of nowadays. And that's exactly what's happening here. Also, wait, is it 2 or 3? It's 2. The one Scouting Acolyte still here. Is he gonna try to counter expand maybe? Skeleton was scouting for the Tier 2 Expo, but that is not coming yet. TC now coming out. It's actually lining up perfectly with Grunts. Grunts are already on their way to the expansion. TC is bringing items for that. He can solo creep it now. The Farseer is pretty close to level 3. DK, I don't think it's as close. Actually, it's exactly the same. The Merchant is a very favored camp to creep up in the middle. Last, it would be a big deal. 1-0 may have to invest the coil, and he does. The reason this camp is so desirable is because of its great amount of experience, especially for a second hero solo creep. This is immediate, level 2. And it's very easy to creep. With the 2 Berserkers, you don't take much damage from this camp. The magic triangle on Echo Isles is expansion, Mercamp, Murlocs, kind of safe on your side of the map. That's instant level 3 for a second hero or whatever. Looks like the Farseer wasn't able to steal a creep blasted here. I think he got more experience from the skeletons. And here's the expansion. Boom! With the TC creeping the natural, he sets up the Expo. Kind of surprised 1-0 wasn't scouting for this with skeletons. He could cancel this, right? Cancel it, kill the peon. One fiend may die to the raider and snare, but that's probably worth it. Perhaps gonna cost a TP also, as more raiders will be coming. Acolyte taken out. Oh, there's level 3 Farseer actually. Level 2 wolves before destroyers are pretty good. Starshape, thank you very much for the host. How's it going, Oscar? How's Night Elf? Here comes the DK with the skeletons, and that's actually enough for the cancel. He went for the staff as well to rejoin his army if he should need to. Oh, TC doesn't have the stomp actually, so he can only get once around here on the fiend. That one he does get, right? And the DK is not here for the coil, so this fiend is definitely dead. That's level 2 for the TC now, though. Skeletons do find the cancel, along with the DK. And now comes the staff in. I like that staff. I think it's time to TP out for 1-0 here, maybe. Yeah, coil kills one more grunt off, and the statue will not take too much damage. Will survive this. Skeletons left behind to deal with the peon, so that can't go for the expansion anymore. And well, pretty solid counterplay by 1-0, right? Solo creeping the Lich to level 2 in a timely manner has that Nova for aggressive potential and most importantly scouting for the Expo. And he finds the timing to kill the expansion before the second Raider is out. If you're late with the scout and the second Raider is there, it's going to cost you two fiends probably and a TP to cancel this expansion. But as it was only one fiend plus a TP. That's okay, I think. Right? It was one fiend plus TP? I think it was. Tier 3 is done now, obviously, as we can see from the orb, and Destroyer form is coming in. And Destroyers are like king against this army. Grunts, Raiders, they can do nothing against Destroyers. Headhunters, that's the answer you need. But at this point, Lin would like to have his expansion finished pretty much. Have the mass income, have the mass production of the only Tier 2. Only Tier 2, guys. No Tier 3. Lin's gonna try to mass as much as he can. 1-0 now has the choice to either attack this expansion again soon, or actually try to counter-expand. On the new patches, we see way more counter-expansion for undeads than we used to in the past. Is this overlay correct, by the way? I think so. TC did get his level 3 and the boots. That's very nice. Invul, greater healing, also amazing items for him. This Orc army doesn't have a Shadow Hunter, doesn't really have any healing, so finding items for survivability is very helpful. 1-0 sells the Periapt of Vitality.
Player's forces are under attack.
And goes for the Dark Ranger the next, I would certainly assume. He rebought the TP, by the way. That was also very expensive. Tome of Experience over here for the TC. That's almost level 4 for him. Alright, here comes the big fight. This is probably going to decide this game. Oh, the silence just came barely in time. Fiend's not being micro at all, though. This 1-0 army isn't looking too big just yet. Where are the Novas? The Headhunters are perfectly lined up for the Nova. Oh, baby! Hitting 3 of the Headhunters right there. 1-0 kiting back. First roll of healing already being used. That was the only one. We have 2 Destroyers now up in the air with full mana. Basically, Lich going for the hero focus on him. And the TP can't be used in time. The Stomp disabled. Kills off the second hero. The TP was transferred to try to save him. I wasn't quite able to pull it off in time. 1-0 has to go for the Tavern Revive now. Dark Ranger dropping low as well. DK too far in the back. The coil hits her too late. 1-0 with micro mistakes here. Losing 2 heroes. Second and third hero, and now it's looking beyond dire. Stomp, surround, DK trying to fight his way out with the coil, but the end snare follows him and he's dead as well. GG. What a weird game. I think rebuying the TP there was not necessarily the correct choice. Cost him a lot of gold. I guess he rebought the TP and went creeping again. Perhaps he was afraid to get creepjacked before he had hit his 50 supply, but that slowed him down a lot. If he hadn't gone for the TP, that would have basically been one more statue and one more fiend. Not exactly, but almost. Yeah, so 1-0 lead for Lin, of course. It's rare to see that 1-2-0 has a good early game and then loses his advantage. I mean, he didn't have much of an advantage, but he delayed the expansion by a long time and it only cost him a TP and a fiend. That's not too much. And he traded it for 1 grunt at least. Maybe it was even more kills, but he got 1 grunt at least. This should have been 1-2-0 in a good position. He had a level 3 Lich to start that fight also, which is a really big deal. I feel like simply the micro wasn't as great by 1-2-0. And Fly realizing the potential for the hero kill. TC plus Farseer combo is not easy to find hero kills with. But Lin is always really, really strong with that, with the chain lockdown of Ensnare, Stomp, and more Ensnare. And in other cases also with Hex, but of course Hex was not a factor in that game. Kind of impressive how Lin turned it around this early game again. Did not go the way he was hoping it would. Northern Isles will be our second map. Whew. And I just made it in time. Dude, they start these games so quickly recently. Yeah, usually 1-2-0 is always great at keeping maximum distance. Like attacking, moving back, attacking, moving back. This is what we call kiting. But that game, he was standing still much more than we're used to seeing. I don't even think there was a scroll of speed engage into that fight, right? Perhaps he was looking elsewhere for just a second, and suddenly the orcs were upon him. So here we go. Map number 2. And again, I feel like, as we saw yesterday, 1-2-0 certainly has moments of brilliance, but he's looking a little sloppy. There's a few mistakes here and there that, of course, you know, most people make. Most of us are mere normal mortals, and we make mistakes. But 1-2-0, he had those times in the past where he didn't make mistakes. Think back to WGL Grand Final against Infi. You remember that series? That was just unbelievable play. Map after map of no errors anywhere. Or if he made some very few, he made up for them with amazing plays. Last WGL season's Moon. He was just a god in that tournament. Dropping, what, 2 maps on his way to the title? That was just completely insane. And, well, to be a world champion, you kind of need those performances. The 2 times before that was one before Moon, the back then called GCS, was TH, where he just looked like an unbeatable god. Unfortunately, the last couple of WGL/GCS finals were one-sided. Well, the last 2 were. Moon versus Foggy, and before that, TH versus Fly were one-sided. Because one player was just too strong for everyone else. The one before that, of course, was TH versus Foggy, and that was a 6 series. Ooh, man. That was a full 7 map, best of 7 series. That Foggy almost won. We almost got that World Championship title, but on last refuge, TH's defense was too good. Farseer again. And Lin does it well. The Grunt has to be the first to attack, to get purged. Only then the Wolves to come in, and then the Wolves take over the aggro. So, Farseer again. Does this mean the same strat again? If it does, I think 1-0's got a good answer. Like, well, the last game he did. Oh, and he's going for a different opening. He's going for the fast Fiend late hero opening, which means a much slower tech, which will mean a much slower level 2 Lich, and which could also mean that he's going to be in a more difficult position to cancel the expansion as it's coming up. However, DK with Fiends out so early can start creeping very, very quickly, and if you have a level 3 DK fast, then you can even go for the cancel of the Orc base pretty easily without a Lich. Scouting is going to be paramount to find that cancel of the Orc expansion coming up. That is absolutely key against this strat, if it should be that strat again. Nice AI abuse here by Lin. Manipulating the golems in such a way that they don't cast their slows. I'm sure you guys are aware of this technique by now. Boots of speed again. I'd keep it. I mean, obviously I would keep it, as you guys know. I love the boots. TK took quite a bit of damage from the first camp here, but of course will be regenerating over time. Skeleton Scout out already. Oh, wow. It's a tier 1 expansion on the way to tier 2. Wow, that is so early.
A player's forces are under attack.
Huh. Vosh is gonna be level 3 soon. With a level 2 Wolves, he can defend pretty reliably, I guess. Or can he? Skeleton's moving out. It's gonna be a key moment if this skeleton reaches its destination. But the peon walks back. Huh. Lin is changing his mind for some reason. So he had to go for the burrow here as well. So he has the supply available on tier 2. Did he go for one more grunt than he actually wanted, perhaps? Ooh, Farseer. He's level 3. Wait, did he kill a couple of skeletons? Those 3 camps usually are not enough for level 3, right? Anyways, in the middle, the 2 armies are engaging. And the Farseer certainly has the upper hand right now, thanks to his level 3. Thanks to those wolves level 2. And now the expansion is coming. And 1-0 is being forced away from it. I think that was a bit of a mistake by 1-0 trying to start this camp here. Should have rather been taking either this or this for reliable level 3 and more likely being able to cancel this one as it's coming up. One Fiend is here to lay in a bit of damage, actually going to be quite a bit of damage. So is 1-0 going to follow up with the rest of the army? The DK is coming over. One more coil to kiss the Fiend with and then join the Fiend down here. Is that enough damage though? He has Rods of Necromancy. There's no more skeletons here. Does he realize that there are skeletons over here? He's going to need the skeletons. This is not enough damage. You need to bring skeletons here and then pop the scroll. Nope. He doesn't get it. Oh, there's a skeleton here. Okay, with that might be enough. Skeletons and the scroll. This is a really big deal. TC is coming from the main, but too late to do anything about this. Oh, he doesn't pop the scroll. That's really greedy. And again, sloppy plays by 1-0. He saw the inventory of the Farseer. He knew this camp was taken. With his scouting, he should have known the timing as well. I mean, calling it sloppy is perhaps a little harsh. It's not like he, I don't know, made a massive mistake of forgetting his Lich or whatever. But there were better plays there. Also the creep route, like creeping this, scouting this, that's fine. But don't go into the middle. It's way too likely that you get intercepted there.
Town is under siege.
If you want to creep level 3, go here, or head straight down here. I feel like I'm being very critical again today. Game's not over yet, of course, but this expansion was so early. This expansion wasn't really well protected. That a cancel shouldn't have been too hard. What is this? There's a spirit tower in the main. Why is there a spirit tower in the main? That's kind of weird. 1-0 seems to be going for a tier 2 all-in. Yep, he is. No tier 3. No orb on the horizon. We have great items for it, though. Greater mana potion for the DK and a scroll of the beast. It's gonna be hard for Lin to hold this. TC does have aura. He's level 2? I went for the arachnothids, I think. DK, where's that scroll? Uses it right here. Onto everything. And the skull is there for a bit of regen as well. Oh, the lightning shield actually being made good use of. Neo would be so happy if he was here. Frost armor wasn't pre-applied either. When you go into a fight like this and it's only level 1 Lich, you have to have frost armor on everything. And it was only on like 2 fiends. And of course Lin's gonna go for the other fiends. Statue doesn't have the frost armor either. Now it does, but already pretty hurt. Raiders coming in with the ensnare. Does Lin have a dust here against potential burrow? Not really, but there's an attack I thought was gonna be more scary than it actually was. And I think a big part of that was no frost armor on everything. How long is frost armor cooldown? Maybe 3 seconds or something? Like, he had the time to set it up on everything. DK out of mana. Mana potion already consumed. Almost surrounded there against the gold mine. And there's like no fiends anymore. The Lich is gonna be falling as well. GG. That was extremely quick.